If you have over $4,200, then you are richer than 50% of the entire world. Now, I know that number is insane, but I do want to say shout out to Larry Jones for helping the people to do better than that. And if you support Larry in his time of grief and his time of need, where he recently lost a brother, then let Larry know in the comments by saying me, M-E, so that when he comes to see this video, he can see that every one of us is standing together and we have his back. So I'm subbing in for him today, and we got to talk about some stocks. And the first banger on the list is NVDA, ticker symbol NVDA. But we're not gonna do a traditional just talk about the stock. We're gonna break down the fundamentals of this video so you can save this one and then learn how to look at stocks better in the future. Now, NVIDIA is ticker symbol NVDA, and it was $139. It has fell all the way down to $92, which has been a dramatic drop in the share price. However, it has since recovered some of that all the way back up to 116. And people are interested in knowing, can it go back? Is it even possible for it to get back to about that 139 level or even exceed it? So let's look at the fundamentals of the company and some information about them so that this could be one of the most valuable videos you've ever seen related to looking into a stock and a company and really understanding how it can move and why. Now, the fundamentals of the company. Let's first start off with using a tool that's going to help us to get there. So this episode is brought to you by the Mumo investing app. You can use Larry's link in the top of the description so that you can get access to these tools for free and get up to 8.1% interest on your uninvested cash. I highly encourage it because this is one of the tools that helps me, Larry, Josh, Mo, all of us, and even more content creators to find information before others actually have it. Information that's readily available for free on the Mumo app. So now, let's start off with, is this company even paying the shareholders out, or is owning the company the only way that you can make money with it? So if you own NVIDIA stock, you're gonna get a dividend. They recently started paying the shareholders, and the dividend is this: the distribution of profits to the shareholders. So actual cash going into your buying power. But I often reinvest my dividends, and this is one of the ways that I make money on NVIDIA. And when you look at it, in one of my accounts, I have about 56.6 shares, and it paid me 1 cent per share, meaning 57 cents. So wait, 57 cents isn't much. Why am I even buying that when it's only making me 57 cents in dividends, aka cash payments quarterly? When I see that, I'm like, yeah, there must be a different reason why people are investing into NVIDIA. And it's actually the stock growth and the potential. So let's get into that. And how do you look into what this can likely move to? You want to look at the financial estimates. So when you look at this blue line, these are the current and actual financial estimates or even financial numbers that NVIDIA hit. And we can see in Q3, they were estimated to hit 16 billion, but a little bit above that in blue, they hit 18 million. But if we look at Q3 of 2025, just 1 year after that, they're expected to have doubled it to about 31 billion. Now, doubling the amount of money that's coming in, that's absolutely insane. It shows us that this stock still has a lot of potential as long as the artificial intelligence wave that we are currently encountering is still in play. Now, let's see who owns a lot of this stock, because again, we want to understand it thoroughly and not just at a surface level. And most people don't have the mental capacity to really put in the time to understand these things. But if you do, this is going to help you to not only have that $4,200 that makes you richer than half of everybody in the world, you're going to have way more than that because you're putting in the time and you're completing the grind. Now, Vanguard owns the most of this stock at 8%, then BlackRock. And these are the two largest asset managers in the world. They're housing a lot of people's retirement accounts, and they own a whole lot of different companies, and they own a lot of this one as well. Now, we do have a founder who I highlighted in red, Jen at the bottom, who basically owns 3.5% of the entire company. So we still like to see that a lot of these companies are founder led, which means that they still believe in it, which is really good. But let's look at NVIDIA as the third largest company in the entire world behind Apple and Microsoft. And it's at 116 right now, but it can still go up if we see the artificial intelligence wave going up even higher. But let's compare it to those large companies by looking at the price to sales ratio, which compares the stock price to the revenue. The revenue is not just all of the money you get to keep, it's just the money you bring in. If you had a lemonade stand and it cost you, let's say $100 to run this business, and then you went out and then you made $200, remember, you had to first cover the cost of what it costs to put the lemonade stand up, which was 100. So you would be, oh, I'm $100 in profit, right? It cost me $100 to do this. I went and made $200. So I had to pay off the cost to do this. And now the profit, the earnings would be $100. So the price to sales ratio, let's understand that on a little bit of a deeper level. This is a tool that we use to compare a company to the industry that it's in. So an ideal price to sale ratio is always dependent on the industry. But between 1 and 2 and maybe even 3 is good. But the lower in almost all cases, the better. So when we look at NVIDIA, we can see that the price to sales ratio is 35. That's way higher than 2, way higher than 3, right? But the industry is overvalued as well with 12, meaning that the industry, we could see a nice correction in those to pull those back down some. Not completely to 1 or 2, because these are the tech stocks, but to pull it down even more. So NVIDIA, when you see the price to sales being so high out of range, it's telling you that this thing can move very volatile. So when you know that, you know it's time to play NVIDIA either for the extreme long term or on the opposite end for more of a short term play with a tight stop loss to kick you out if you get profit and you have your stop loss above your entry price. Now, NVIDIA, like we said, it could swing wildly. It swung basically 10, 15% all the way down from about 140 to about the $90 range. So let's look at the earnings and look at the fundamentals on a more different level. Now, the price to earnings, this is a ratio that compares the share price of a company to the earnings of the company. Now, just like the lemonade stand that we were talking about before, well, now we're not just looking at the $200 you brought in. We're looking at what is the net ratio in terms of, are you profitable and how's that looking going forward? So let's look at the definition. And it says the average PE is about 20 to 25. However, below that is considered good and higher than that is usually considered high. So this is how you can think about the price to sales and even the price to earnings ratio. So that you can say, when I see it between 20 and 25, this is usually decent depending on the industry. However, if it's way lower than that, it could be really good. Or if it's way higher than that, then it could not be good. Meaning that why would somebody buy a company with the price to earnings out of this world? It could be a sign that the stock is anticipated to grow even more. So the stock and the company can grow into those valuations. So price to earnings. NVIDIA has a price to earnings of 67 currently, but the industry has one of 49. Neither one of those is between 20 and 25. And this is showing us that what's going on here, the industry and NVIDIA are technically overvalued, meaning that they can swing in a very volatile manner, which gives us the information to tell us, okay, if I go in here at these levels, I do have to go in light. I do have to be cautious. It doesn't mean that it can't grow even further, because it's very likely going to grow even further, but it tells us to be cautious here and to be cautious there versus, oh yeah, this is a great value. I can buy this and hold on to this forever, and it's not gonna dip like that. But since we know that the PE is so high and the price of sales is so high, then anyone who saw these numbers before and seen NVIDIA all the way up at 140 and drop to 92, it makes sense because the valuation is out of whack. I hope that you understand that, and if not, rewind. But let's get to the next tool. We have this right here, which is the price prediction tool. UBS, which is a major institution, they are telling us that they see it going to 150. Oppenheimer, they see it going to 150. And then Bernstein, they see it going to 130. Now, I like to give you a play, AKA how to run this one if you are trading with the chart and not with your heart. So between 117 and 122 is personally where I would wait. There's a lot of selling liquidity up there. There's a lot of people who decided, yeah, I made profit, and they want to sell it in those ranges in that level. However, I want to buy this between 84, preferably speaking, but 116 will be the max that I'll be willing to buy it this week. The lower into the buy range, the more I want to load up heavy with a stop loss at about 83. If we break below 83, then the entire market is very likely crashing and the tech stocks are very likely crashing. So this video has been jam-packed with information on fundamentals and how to look at a company. And I want to give a salute to Larry Jones for having me on the channel and having me have the opportunity to really support him in a great time of need. Like I said before, family, subscribe to Larry, use his links in the description so that you can learn and that you could earn. I love y'all, I appreciate y'all. And Larry Jones, I got your back forever, man. And so does everybody in the chat who said me. They got your back too. I love y'all and see you in the next one. And I'm Keenan Grace, by the way. I have a YouTube channel. If you want to go and subscribe, then I see you over there too, family. So we could keep it going and keep getting to this money. I love y'all again. Take care.